50 Cent is working on a documentary to expose Jay-Z. Jay-Z and Pusha T were just named in the Epstein files, and this case might just be worse than what Diddy was doing. Jay-Z was connected to some of the worst criminals in the industry, and the latest release by the Department of Justice proves this. Emails, flight logs, and archived clips continue to resurface, and Jay-Z is worried.
This is not a drill. Pusha T and Jay-Z have both been revealed to be in the Epstein files. A few moments ago, we have just received shocking news within the music world that two major artists in the rap game were revealed to be in the Epstein files, like Pusha T and Jay-Z. Now, specifically in the Epstein file, Pusha T is accused of doing something to a woman that is very disturbing, with it saying in approximately 2007, a woman attended a party following an invitation from an unknown man who approached her as she walked down the street. Weinstein and Pusha T also attended the party and drugged her and ended up doing other things. And as for Jay-Z, the details are a lot more disturbing, within the files claiming that Jay-Z was doing something to a woman while she was sleeping, with it saying from her home she then later woke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter Jay-Z, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into you-know-what.
Less than a week ago, the Department of Justice released over 3 million pages of records, around 2,000 videos, and about 180,000 images from various investigations tied to Epstein. Most of these records had been heavily redacted, but despite names being blacked out and faces being hidden, one name that keeps cropping up again and again is Jay-Z. An FBI crisis intake report included in the latest Epstein release shows that an anonymous victim claimed that she had been drugged and sexually abused in several instances throughout the years, with Pusha T as one of her handlers. Also in the report, the victim said that she actually saw her alleged abusers once after she woke up in a room with Harvey Weinstein and Jay-Z. The leaked file reads, the woman later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, or Jay-Z, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into redacted, according to the unsubstantiated allegations. Now, while being in the Epstein files, or even in an FBI crisis report, is not proof of guilt, it sure as hell doesn't look good for Jay-Z, especially after his close association with another abuser, Sean Diddy Combs, recently landed him a lawsuit. Is it really just a coincidence that every time someone is exposed, Jay-Z is always close by?
Now, this is a tip back in 2009 that was sent to the FBI that references Jay-Z, Harvey Weinstein, and Pusha T. It says, on July 10th of 2019 at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time, someone called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. This person said in approximately 1994, she revealed herself as a past victim of abuse by Epstein. She described the abuse that occurred during parties, and she also described someone as a friend of someone. In approximately 1996, she revealed that she resided with someone somewhere. An unknown man abducted someone from her home when she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, known as Jay-Z. This person claimed that Harvey Weinstein inserted his fingers into... She believed that she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. This person estimated that she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an indoor setting. He said that she suffered abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She claims that she recalled Leon Black and William Barr, the current United States Attorney General, being present during some of the occasions of the abuse.
First of all, I'm not even shocked anymore, because after what we saw with Diddy, anything is possible. Here's the thing, some of the biggest names in the industry have been saying Jay-Z is sus for years. Kanye West and Nicki Minaj have recently been talking about Jay-Z, and frankly, everything they said lines up exactly with what is in the files.
If you take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living our people, so how the they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, oh, Beyonce had the best for somebody else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, they didn't go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars.
Man.
Liars are now the face of our culture.
Now, to be clear, Ye is speaking from his own perspective, and the context of when that video was recorded is still unclear. He's not presenting court evidence, he's making a claim. But the reason people are revisiting this clip isn't that it's proof. It's because it suddenly doesn't sound as random as it once did. Back then, the industry and the fans brushed it off. Today, after Diddy, after Epstein, after watching how long powerful people can operate without scrutiny, the reaction is different. People are asking, what did they mean? And why were these warnings ignored for so long? And that's the uncomfortable part. Even if none of this leads to charges, the pattern is familiar. Allegations get dismissed, critics get labeled crazy, and years later, the conversation quietly changes. Another major celebrity who is now coming for Jay-Z is Nicki Minaj, and she has recently been giving actual details of what goes on behind the scenes. On the night of the Grammys, Nicki went on another X rant, this time dragging Beyoncé and Jay-Z into it, right as their names were already trending because of the Epstein file release. She didn't just throw shade either. Nicki straight up accused the Carters of trafficking and sacrificing children to stay in power. Then Nicki switched tones and claimed she's been quiet for so long, while Beyoncé and Jay-Z have allegedly been bullying her behind the scenes. According to her, she's been holding back secrets, but now she's thinking about doing story times and exposing what she knows.
Here's what Nicki Minaj had to say. She wrote, "Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up." And yeah, she's not the first person in Hollywood to say that. I just don't know how much could be in our face anymore before we wake up and realize these people are ruling over us and they win when we're fighting with each other. That's just the reality. I really don't see how you can have a ton of success in Hollywood and not be in the club, because Hollywood was founded upon this. I just don't really care what you call me. It's time for everyone to wake up.
Nicki said powerful people have been doing dark things behind closed doors to maintain control. And honestly, after everything we've seen exposed in the industry lately, it's not that hard to believe. If someone like Diddy can silence his way to success, we can only imagine what billionaire Jay-Z is capable of. Nicki also made it clear that she's been quiet for a long time. Not because she had nothing to say, but because she was trying not to say it. According to her, the Carters have continued to bully her behind the scenes, push her out of spaces, and blackball her career. That's why she hinted at doing story times, not for attention, but because she's tired of being the one who stays quiet while everyone else controls the narrative. And let's be real, Nicki has been calling out industry politics for over a decade. She's talked about sabotage, blacklisting, and award manipulation long before it became popular to say out loud.
And what's really happened is that people like Nicki Minaj and also Kanye West, they seem like they were a little bit cuckoo. And I ain't gonna lie, people call them flat out crazy. They're now starting to look like they were trying to warn us of some things. So Nicki Minaj unleashes this verbal onslaught on Jay-Z. She says, "Are you understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and you will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times. Since I wasn't trying to say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying. Also, I won't be releasing an album until my contract is renegotiated and until I tell you about all the sabotage this Rico is finding out about Billboard." Now that's also really telling. She says she will not be releasing an album until her contract is renegotiated. From what I know, she is signed to Universal.
Nicki was the first one in the industry to actually give details of what goes on behind the curtain. And according to her, Jay-Z blackballed her because of it. Her career suffered, she was pushed out of contract, and now, with the release of these files, it sure looks like everything she was saying was true. She said for years that Jay-Z used his influence to blackball her after she refused to play along. After that, everything started going left, industry support dried up, opportunities disappeared, and suddenly the narrative became that she was the problem. Deals went quiet, relationships shifted. She was pushed out of contracts and painted as difficult, while the same people behind the scenes kept winning awards and controlling platforms. And now, with the release of these files, people are revisiting what Nicki said with fresh eyes. Not because the documents prove her claims, but because they show how tightly connected power, access, and protection really are in this industry. When the same names keep popping up around the same circles, it makes you question whether Nicki was crazy or just early. For years, she was mocked, ignored, and gaslit. Now suddenly, the same accusations that were once crazy are being backed up by the FBI. And that's why her rants hit differently now. This isn't random anger. It's resentment built over years of being silenced, sidelined, and punished for saying too much in an industry that thrives on silence. It's the same thing with 50 Cent. After destroying Diddy's career with his Netflix documentary, 50 Cent has now announced that he's going to come after Jay-Z and expose him for his connection to the Epstein files. Just as a reminder, when 50 Cent decides to come after you, make sure you're prepared. His Diddy documentary became one of the biggest cultural moments of the year, dominating headlines, breaking streaming records, and turning Diddy from an untouchable mogul into a liability almost overnight. That project did more damage to Diddy's reputation than anything else in his entire career, and it didn't happen by accident. So Jay-Z knows exactly what time it is. Right now, he's probably not brushing this off. He's likely in damage control mode, lawyers on speed dial, statements being drafted, cease and desist letters ready just in case. Because once 50 starts moving publicly, it's already past the warning stage. And that's what makes this different. This isn't just random internet chatter anymore. You've got Nicki saying she was silenced for years, and now you've got 50, someone with resources, connections, and a proven track record, saying he's about to pull receipts.
Trafficking or Epstein's crime. Now let's be real. You know 50 Cent was somewhere stretching his fingers like, another post. 50 probably woke up, saw the headlines and said, God is good. 50 Cent jumped on Instagram and posted the article on his page and wrote the caption, I know I'm late on this, but this is kinda crazy. What do you do to get thrown into that mix? Then he posted a picture of Jay-Z and wrote the caption, damn, they got my man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this. Bro, don't tell me you about to do a Jay-Z documentary that's gonna be even more spicier than the Diddy one you dropped. Now we all know that 50 lives for moments like this. This is like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and tax season combined in one. 50 don't even need facts, he needs content. He the type to post, I don't know if it's true, but with 20 laughing emojis.
If 50 really goes all out, Jay-Z could go down. And let's be honest, his downfall would shake the industry. We're not just talking about awards or album sales here. We're talking influence, power structures, and decades of untouchable status suddenly collapsing. Imagine years of being the king of hip-hop, the first rap billionaire, controlling charts, business deals, and cultural narratives. And then, boom, one documentary and a couple of outspoken voices like Nicki Minaj's start unraveling it all. That's the power 50 Cent holds. And that's why people are watching this so closely.
Y'all thought the downfall of Diddy was something. The downfall of Jay-Z is going to be something. Jay-Z is working overtime right now to make sure his empire won't crumble apart. Because we're not going to act like he wasn't named in the Epstein.
Hey, I'm just going to say this. Just listen to me out. Ever since Jaguar Wright, if that's her name correctly, right, has been talking about Jay-Z and how Jay-Z has been doing all these crazy shenanigan situations, and Jay-Z never put a cease and desist on her at all. Like, nobody has told her to shut the hell up because she knows what she knows, right? She's a little quiet right now for my liking. I don't like that she's a little quiet. Right now, you're supposed to be on every single TV broadcast, every podcast, everywhere, okay? Because you've been allegedly proven to be right. Because he's Epstein's list, Jeffrey Epstein's list has dropped, and now we got Diddy out the way. Jay-Z is on the crosshair, and Pusha T is right behind him. They're both gonna get a 2-for-1 combo set up. Okay. I always knew Jay-Z was weird. Anytime, if you watch the interviews about how Jay-Z talked about Aaliyah, creepy. You know what I'm saying? That the girl wasn't even 18 yet. She was still 16, whatever her young prepubescent age was, right? And Don Dash was already trying to be like, oh, that's my girl already. You know what I'm saying? Like when she becomes single or whatever type of situation. So y'all playing in the same sandbox to me. All y'all playing in the same sandbox. It's just who's gonna topple over first. Diddy's down, out for the count. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z's next spot. Because Jay-Z has tried to make himself seem like this is more elevated thought process with the growing out the hair, and all of a sudden finding these interests about buying art, which all of that is money laundering, to be honest with you. That's just how you hide your money, so that when you have a real bad time, you can sell it or pull the money out of the insurance policy so that you can cover whatever expenses you got without having to pay income taxes. I know your work. But I always knew that it was nonsense with Jay-Z, right? Pusha is going to be the one I really want to know about. Push is gonna be the really one, because I want to know how bad the situation be. Because everybody's been named in these lists, we've all seen them talk and walk with this superior mindset of saying, I would never do anything like this. I'm a man of valor. I'm a man of morals. Blah 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 blah. And then look at you now. Now look at you now. Put on blast by the U.S. government. I'm just saying. And we had 3.2 million pages worth. It's gonna take months before we see everything.
This didn't come out of nowhere either. Even before the Epstein files were released, the rumors were there. Gene Deal, Diddy's bodyguard, has been talking about Jay-Z's shady character way before the files were released. What's wild is that 2 years ago, when Diddy's mansion was first raided, Gene Deal straight up predicted this moment. He said that if someone as powerful and protected as Diddy could be touched, then Jay-Z wouldn't be far behind. At the time, people laughed it off. They said Gene was clout chasing, bitter, or exaggerating. But now, that prediction doesn't sound so crazy. The most interesting part? Gene Deal says that his claims aren't alleged. He saw Jay-Z being a bit too close to minors with his own eyes. Plus, who can forget that Jay started dating Beyonce when she was just 16?
Was there when he first started dating Beyonce at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. When I look back and see how old Jay-Z was, I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67. Something like that, 67 right there? 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyonce, they said she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene's. And Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-some years old and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6, 7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know. You know what I'm saying? But to get back to your letter, I believe that the lawyer was doing what he did, and he threw shade at Puff in the interim of that by saying that all celebrities, you may think all celebrities are alike, you know what I'm saying? He know he's under this situation with Puff. But you gotta look at this right here. They sent him a letter, Busby sent him a letter for 2 reasons, I believe. To open up the floodgate, just like that 1-800 bad boy number did, and people start calling in saying what Puff did to them. Because he already had that information from that person when they first did the suit against Puff.
So what do you think? Are these just old rumors resurfacing, or is Nicki finally vindicated with 50 Cent stepping up and the files dropping? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear who you're siding with. Team Mickey, Team 50, or do you think Jay-Z is untouchable? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this story.